My dear students, welcome back to our channel. In this video, I will be explaining the B.Ed 4th semester subject Inclusive Education as prescribed by Osmania University and other universities of Telangana. We will go through the important questions and answers one by one. Let's begin with a quick revision. Unit 1 first important short question is: define inclusive education. Inclusive education is an approach where all children, regardless of their abilities, disabilities, or backgrounds, learn together in the same classroom. It emphasizes equal opportunities for every student and focuses on removing barriers to learning. Example: a school has children with visual impairment, hearing difficulties, and learning challenges studying alongside other children. Teachers use adapted teaching methods, supportive technology, and peer assistance to ensure everyone participates and learns effectively. Key points: 1. Equality. Every child has the right to education. 2. Participation. All students engage in classroom activities. 3. Support. Extra help is provided based on individual needs. 4. Diversity awareness. Students learn to respect and appreciate differences. Importance: inclusive education promotes social integration, empathy, and better learning outcomes. It prepares children for a real-world environment where diversity exists. Next important short question is: 2. What is the difference between impairment and disability? Difference between impairment and disability. 1. Impairment. An impairment is a problem in a body function or structure. It refers to loss or abnormality of a physical, mental, or sensory function. Example: a child born with poor eyesight has a visual impairment. 2. Disability. A disability is the restriction or difficulty a person faces in performing tasks or participating in daily activities because of the impairment. It focuses on limitations in real-life situations. Example: the same child with poor eyesight may face difficulty reading the blackboard in class, which is a disability caused by the impairment. Key difference: impairment is equal to the problem itself, loss or abnormality. Disability is equal to the effect of the problem on daily life. Importance: understanding this difference helps teachers provide proper support in inclusive classrooms, ensuring children with impairments can learn effectively and participate fully. Next important short question is: 3. What is Universal Design of Learning (UDL)? Definition: Universal Design for Learning (UDL) is an educational approach that makes learning accessible and effective for all students, including those with disabilities. It focuses on providing multiple ways to learn, engage, and show knowledge. Key idea: instead of forcing all students to learn the same way, UDL adapts teaching methods, materials, and assessments to meet diverse learning needs. Example: a teacher teaches a science concept. 1. Visual learners get diagrams and videos. 2. Auditory learners listen to explanations or podcasts. 3. Hands-on learners do experiments. Students can choose how they learn and show understanding, ensuring everyone benefits. Importance: UDL reduces barriers in the classroom, promotes inclusion, and helps every student succeed, not just those without disabilities. Next important short question is: 4. Mention two key features of the Right to Education Act, 2009. Right to Education, RTE, Act, 2009 Key features. Definition: the RTE Act, 2009 is an Indian law that makes education a fundamental right for all children aged 6 to 14 years. It ensures free and compulsory education in a neighborhood school. 2 key features. 1. Free and compulsory education. Every child has the right to attend school without paying fees. Example, a child from a low-income family can study in a government school without any financial burden. 2. Reservation for disadvantaged children. 25% of seats in private schools are reserved for children from weaker sections and disadvantaged groups. Example, a child with special needs or from an underprivileged background can study in a private school along with other children. Importance. Promotes inclusive education and reduces inequality. Ensures all children get equal opportunities to learn and develop their potential. Next important short question is 5. What is meant by curriculum adaptation? Curriculum adaptation. Definition. Curriculum adaptation means modifying or adjusting the school curriculum to meet the different learning needs of all students, especially children with disabilities or special needs. It ensures every child can learn effectively at their own pace. Examples of adaptation. 1. Content adaptation, simplifying lessons or using pictures, diagrams, and easy language for better understanding. Example, teaching multiplication with colorful blocks for a child with learning difficulties. 2. Teaching method adaptation, using audio, visual, or hands-on activities instead of only textbooks. Example, using story videos to teach language skills. 3. Assessment adaptation, allowing extra time or oral tests for students who need it. Example, letting a visually impaired child give answers orally instead of writing. Importance. Makes learning inclusive and meaningful. Helps all children achieve their potential without feeling left out. Next Unit 1. Long questions. First important long question is: explain the nature of inclusive education. Discuss how it is different from integrated and special education. Nature of inclusive education. Definition. Inclusive education is an approach where all children, irrespective of their abilities, disabilities, or backgrounds, learn together in the same classroom. The focus is on equal opportunities, participation, and respect for diversity. Nature of inclusive education. 1. Child-centered, focuses on the needs and abilities of every child. 2. Equitable, ensures all students have access to learning materials and support. 3. Flexible curriculum, adapts teaching methods, content, and assessments for different learners. 4. Collaborative, encourages teachers, parents, and peers to work together. 5. Promotes social inclusion, helps children develop empathy, respect, and teamwork. Difference from integrated and special education. Feature inclusive education, integrated education, special education. Goal: all children learn together with equal opportunities. Children with disabilities join regular schools but may have separate support. Education is provided in separate settings for children with disabilities. Curriculum flexible and adapted for all learners. Regular curriculum with some modifications. Specialized curriculum designed for specific disabilities. Social interaction promotes peer interaction, and social learning. Interaction with peers happens but may be limited. Limited interaction with non-disabled peers. Teachers' role: adapt teaching strategies and materials, support students in mainstream classes. Specialist teachers provide tailored instructions. Environment: fully inclusive and accessible. Partially inclusive, mostly separate classrooms or schools. Example: in an inclusive classroom, a child with hearing impairment might use sign language or captions, while other students participate in the same lesson using visual aids and group activities. Everyone learns together, and no child feels left out. Importance: builds equality, respect, and social skills among all students. Helps children with disabilities achieve their potential in a normal school setting. Encourages teachers to be creative and adaptive in teaching. Next important long question is: to discuss the historical development of inclusion with reference to the shift from the medical model to the human rights model. Historical development of inclusion. Introduction. The concept of inclusion in education has evolved over time, moving from a medical model to a human rights model, reflecting society's changing understanding of disability and diversity. 1. Medical model, early 20th century. Focus: the problem lies within the individual child. Approach: children with disabilities were seen as needing treatment or cure before they could join regular schools. Example: children with physical or learning disabilities were sent to special schools or excluded from mainstream education. Limitation: this model ignored social barriers and emphasized what children could not do. 2. Social model, late 20th century. Focus: disability is created by society when it fails to accommodate differences. Approach: emphasis on removing barriers in schools, classrooms, and society. Example: installing ramps, special seating, or assistive devices for students with disabilities. Importance: shifted attention from fixing the child to changing the environment. 3. Human rights model, 21st century. Focus: education is a fundamental right for all children, regardless of abilities. Approach: inclusive education ensures equal access, participation, and respect for diversity. Example: policies like UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, CRPD, and India's Right to Education Act, 2009 support inclusion. Importance: promotes equity, social justice, and empowerment of children with disabilities. Key shift: from fixing the child medical model, adapting the environment social model, guaranteeing rights and equality human rights model. This shift reflects global awareness, research, and advocacy for children's rights. Conclusion. The historical development of inclusion shows a progressive understanding of children with disabilities. Modern inclusive education focuses on accepting diversity, removing barriers, and providing opportunities for all learners. By recognizing every child's right to education, schools become more equitable, supportive, and socially responsible. Example: in classroom, a student with dyslexia receives reading software and peer support to learn alongside classmates, rather than being sent to a separate special school. Next important long question is: 3. Describe the key provisions and educational implications of the RPWD Act, 2016. Key provisions and educational implications of the RPWD Act, 2016. Introduction. The Rights of Persons with Disabilities, RPWD Act, 2016 is a landmark law in India that ensures equal rights and opportunities for persons with disabilities, including access to education. It replaced the older 1995 Act, expanding protections and emphasizing inclusion. Key provisions. 1. Definition and recognition. Recognizes 21 types of disabilities, including physical, sensory, intellectual, and developmental disabilities. Example: autism, cerebral palsy, visual and hearing impairments. 2. Right to education. Children with disabilities have the right to free and inclusive education in mainstream schools up to age 18. Schools must provide accommodations like assistive devices, accessible classrooms, and teaching aids. 3. Non-discrimination. Prohibits discrimination in education, employment, or public services based on disability. Example, a school cannot deny admission to a child because of cerebral palsy. 4. Accessibility and inclusive infrastructure. All educational institutions must ensure physical accessibility, such as ramps, accessible toilets, and transport facilities. Teaching materials should be available in multiple formats, example, Braille, audio, or simplified text. 5. Empowerment and support. Special scholarships, skill training, and counseling are provided to students with disabilities. Teachers receive training for inclusive teaching practices. Educational implications. Promotes inclusive classrooms where students with and without disabilities learn together. Encourages teacher awareness and skill development for handling diverse learners. Leads to adaptation of curriculum and assessment methods to meet individual learning needs. Reduces stigma and social barriers, fostering equity and participation for all students. Example, in practice, a visually impaired student in a mainstream school uses Braille textbooks, screen reading software, and receives peer support, allowing them to participate fully in classroom activities. Conclusion. The RPWD Act 2016 is a progressive law that ensures the rights of children with disabilities, promotes inclusive education, and empowers schools to create accessible, equitable, and supportive learning environments. It reflects India's commitment to education for all. Next important long question is: 4. Explain the terms adaptation, modification, and differentiation in the context of inclusive education. Adaptation, modification, and differentiation in inclusive education. Introduction. Inclusive education ensures that all students, including those with disabilities or diverse learning needs, learn together in the same classroom. To support this, teachers use strategies like adaptation, modification, and differentiation. These approaches help every student access the curriculum effectively and achieve success. 1. Adaptation. Meaning, adapting means changing the teaching methods, materials, or environment to help students learn better without changing the learning goals. Example, a teacher provides Braille books or audio recordings to a visually impaired student. The student still learns the same content as others, but in a format they can use. Purpose ensures accessibility and participation for all learners. 2. Modification. Meaning. Modification means changing the learning goals or expectations according to the student's abilities. Example, a student with intellectual disability may learn simplified math problems instead of the standard curriculum. Purpose helps students achieve realistic learning outcomes while building confidence. 3. Differentiation. Meaning, differentiation is a teaching approach that addresses diverse learning needs in the same classroom by varying content, process, or assessment. Example, in a science class, some students perform experiments in groups, while others watch demonstrations or use virtual labs based on their abilities. Purpose ensures that every student learns in a way that suits their learning style, pace, and interest. Educational implications. Promotes equity, ensuring that students with different abilities can participate meaningfully. Reduces learning gaps by providing customized support. Encourages peer learning and collaboration, enhancing social and academic development. Prepares teachers to plan lessons flexibly, using multiple strategies for diverse learners. Conclusion. In inclusive classrooms, adaptation, modification, and differentiation are essential tools that make learning accessible, fair, and effective for all students. By using these strategies, teachers can ensure that every child, regardless of ability, can engage, learn, and succeed. Next important long question is 5. Critically analyze the role of National Educational Policy, NEP, 2020 in promoting inclusive education. Role of NEP 2020 in promoting inclusive education. Introduction. The National Education Policy, NEP, 2020 is India's roadmap for transforming education. One of its key goals is to promote inclusive and equitable education for all learners, including children with disabilities, socioeconomic disadvantages, and diverse learning needs. NEP 2020 emphasizes removing barriers to learning and ensuring that every child has access to quality education. Key roles of NEP 2020 in inclusive education. 1. Focus on equity and access. NEP 2020 aims to ensure 100% enrollment of children aged 3 to 18 years, including children with disabilities and those from marginalized communities. Example, special provisions for transport, scholarships, and assistive devices for differently abled students. 2. Flexible curriculum and pedagogy. Encourages multilingual education, experiential learning, and universal design for learning, UDL. Example, a school may use audiovisual tools for hearing impaired students while teaching the same curriculum to others. 3. Teacher training and capacity building. NEP emphasizes training teachers to handle diverse classrooms and use inclusive teaching strategies. Example, workshops on adaptation, modification, and differentiation for learners with special needs. 4. Use of technology, e-learning and assistive devices. Promotes digital learning platforms and AI tools to support inclusive education. Example, screen readers for visually impaired students or apps that simplify learning concepts. 5. Assessment reforms. NEP 2020 advocates flexible and competency-based assessments to fairly evaluate students with diverse abilities. Example, alternative evaluation methods for children with learning disabilities. Critical analysis. Strengths. NEP 2020 creates a holistic and flexible framework for inclusive education, promotes equity, accessibility, and teacher preparedness. Challenges. Effective implementation requires adequate funding, trained personnel, infrastructure, and societal awareness. Some rural or under-resourced schools may face difficulties in fully adopting inclusive practices. Conclusion. NEP 2020 plays a pivotal role in promoting inclusive education by ensuring access, equity, and quality learning for all children. Its success depends on committed implementation, proper teacher training, and community support, ensuring that no child is left behind.